Hey guys, welcome to Menti B Psych Genius. Today we're diving into narcissistic personality disorder. Let's be real, narcissist gets thrown around a lot. Sometimes it's meant as a joke, other times it's an insult. But behind the buzzword is a very real mental health condition, one that affects lives, relationships, and emotional well being in complex ways. We'll gently unpack narcissistic personality disorder, not to judge, but to understand. Because the more we get it, the better we support both ourselves and those around us. NPD, or Narcissistic Personality Disorder, is a psychological condition. People with NPD tend to have an inflated sense of self importance, a deep need for admiration, and a struggle with empathy. But here's the twist: beneath all that grandiosity, there's usually a fragile, vulnerable self image they're desperately trying to protect. It's easy to confuse narcissism with high self esteem, but someone who's confident doesn't need to step on others to feel good. MPD isn't just about being proud or driven, it's a long term pattern that affects relationships, work, and emotional life, not just a few Instagram posts. Now let's look inside. Why does someone act this way? In many cases, these behaviors are like an armor. They create a persona that feels powerful because deep down, the person might feel inadequate or even ashamed. Constant admiration acts like a band aid, covering up emotional wounds. According to the DSM-5, a person must show at least five of these traits: grandiosity, fantasies of power, beauty, or success, believing they're special, needing excessive admiration, a sense of entitlement, exploiting others, lack of empathy, envy or belief that others envy them, arrogant behaviors. A quick way to remember them is with the mnemonic SPEEECIAL, extra E's because they believe they're really special. Relationships with someone who has NPD can feel like a roller coaster. At first, there may be admiration and intensity, but over time, others might feel used, unseen, or emotionally drained. It's not always malicious, but it can still hurt. These patterns often come from emotional habits, not evil intentions. On the inside, someone with MPD might constantly feel they're walking on a tightrope, balancing their self worth through the eyes of others. They may fear criticism so deeply that even mild feedback feels like an attack. It's exhausting, like wearing a mask all the time and forgetting what's underneath. NPD affects about 1% to 6% of the general population, and it's more commonly diagnosed in men. But remember, cultural norms and gender expectations can influence how it presents and how it's recognized. Its impact can be huge, from difficulties at work, broken relationships, to increased rates of depression and even substance use. People with NPD often feel isolated, even though they might not show it. Most people with NPD don't come into therapy saying, "Hey, I think I'm a narcissist." Diagnosis usually happens when life cracks the mask, maybe through a breakup, job loss, or other crisis. And let's not forget the stereotypes. Not everyone who's selfish or arrogant has NPD. Diagnosis needs a trained mental health professional and a deeper look into long-term patterns. Can it be treated? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it takes work. Psychotherapy, especially talk therapy, helps people understand their emotions, learn healthier coping strategies, and slowly build a more stable sense of self. It's not about fixing someone, it's about growth and healing. Now, if you're dealing with someone who shows these traits, it can be really tough. The key? Empathy with boundaries. Understand where they're coming from, but don't sacrifice your emotional well being. You can be compassionate and still say no. Narcissistic personality disorder isn't a label we should throw around lightly. Behind the behavior is often a person who's hurting, confused, or scared, even if they don't show it. By understanding the reality of NPD, we can approach it with more awareness, more balance, and yes, more humanity. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and join us for more real talk on mental health.